Texting. Hello, Mr. BBD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. No, wait. Over. There we go. We are back. Welcome back to the mid-sack on a wet my wish away. Wait. That is the redoubtable one, Thomas J. Izzo, the highly questionable Arjun Miliaccio. Great show we can talk about there. Thanks again for Lot and Luntz. Mr. Lottie Toddy, he will be back maybe this Saturday. Who knows?
I kind of thought of a different nickname.
You did.
I did. Okay. Now, this is still up in the air.
This has not come to a vote.
This has not been formally, passed to the committee.
This is not a motion on the floor yet.
No.
It might be a motion on the floor.
I just wanted to bring it up because, Lottie Dottie I liked.
Yeah.
LL I liked.
Yep.
But, I almost feel like you need a name from the show, right? Like, the show has given most names.
It has.
And by the show, one of us typically gives the name.
Yes.
Right.
And the other seconds it.
Right.
Because it has to be unanimous.
Yes. Typically you.
Yes.
But, I've given some names along the way. But
I
I kind of like Law Dog.
Law Dog.
Law Dog.
That's interesting. Law Dog.
Okay, Law Dog.
So you're calling him Wyatt Earp.
Well, yes, right? Because it makes me think of Ike in Tombstone when he's like, yeah, Law don't go around here, Law Dog.
Actually, when he says it again, Law Dog, you don't put that down. He puts the gun right to his face and goes, you die first.
Well,
and then the guy literally wets himself and shits himself in him. He goes, your friends might get me in a rush, but not before I turn your head into a canoe. And then he goes, he's bluffing. He goes, no, he ain't bluffing. He ain't bluffing. He goes, you're not as stupid as you look.
No.
Like.
But then before that, the same night that Johnny Ringo does the thing when he's like, Law don't go around here, Law Dog. And he says it the second time. He goes, heard you the first time, Ike. Winner to the king.
$500. And then he goes, shut up, Ike.
Exactly. Who was that, Wild Bill?
That was Wild Bill.
Yeah.
That was Curly Bill.
Yeah, Curly Bill. What a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
So I'm just throwing it out there, but I kind of like Law Dog.
Okay, well, we'll talk to Lawton about this and see what Law Dog is pretty smooth. Not for nothing, Law Dog.
Gonna like it.
I like it. Anyway, so this is IDD for those who I don't disagree. Segment one. We were going to start, but we will get to it. Obviously, the battle of the Titans in the South Boston last night, but. It came to my attention late this afternoon, thanks to the redoubtable one, because I missed this. They are handing down the offseason, the awards now in MLB, and Manager of the Year in the NL was voted on apparently. And Stud Muff got screwed.
None other than Carlos Mendoza.
Yeah. Now, he knows more about this than I do, so and it's his team. So I'm going to give him the floor and tell us why. I mean, just spell it out. Why was this the wrong decision?
Okay.
I happen to agree it was the wrong
decision. So first of all, I'm not trying to disparage the guy that won, okay? Because Pat Murphy, the manager of the Brewers, did a fucking great job. They've gotten rid of their ace. They sent Corbin Burns to the Orioles. I think they had, I don't know how many pitchers they had hurt at the start of the season. Super young team, and they won the division. Okay, that was a great job. And I'm not...
They were not picked to win the division.
No.
They were not.
Definitely not.
They kind of came out of nowhere.
There was supposedly more talent on, other teams in that division. The Cardinals shit the bed this year.
Yeah.
The Cubs didn't do dick, even though people thought they might be better this year.
Yeah.
And then who the fuck else is in the Central? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was decent. They're starting to become talented.
You know what's funny? The last 2 years, they have jumped out of the gate.
Well, they're starting to get talent, but it's...
Yeah, they're a fan base that I'm kind of pulling for. I am down the road because they get screwed
Pirates
so much.
Don't win shit.
They've been screwed so much by their ownership, which refuses to spend the money. But anyway, back to your thing.
But so they win that division. But again, that division wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it wasn't.
The division wasn't great, but still, people weren't picking them to win it. So good for him. No. He did a great job. But Carlos Mendoza, okay, who I originally called Stiff Los.
The one he deemed to name Stiff Los.
So that was one I named, of
which
course.
I was hearing in my sleep, by the way, for the first 2 months. I kept going, Stiff Los, La Losa, Los, stay stiff.
Well,
I was applying it to everything.
But like
because
Stiff
of you.
Los, I mean, we admitted that was one of the funniest nicknames ever created. Stiff Los. Okay. But... Okay, so
the delivery makes it funny.
Mendoza
Usually when he says it, he's in disgust. But go on.
Mendoza comes in. There was all this drama with the Mets last year with Verlander getting traded and Scherzer. And Scherzer saying, look, I would have stayed here. They told me their plans changed. They're not trying to compete in 2024. Scherzer told that to the world.
Yeah, he did.
Asshole.
I remember that. Yeah.
But whatever. If that's what they told him, all right, he was just saying what he heard.
Yeah.
But So Mendoza comes in. They start off 0-5, get swept by the Brewers in the first series. Pat Murphy's Brewers.
Yeah.
Then they lose 2 games after that, and they have a comeback win. Whatever. They start 0-5. At one point in the first 2 months of the season, they became so bad they went to 11 games under 500. And in New York, as a new manager with no clout, this guy didn't have a name. He was the Yankees bench coach. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. Not like fans, media. Okay, like baseball people knew who he was, but not us.
Yep.
And you know how New York is. Just immediately, if somebody's down, oh, this person's a loser, they suck.
Yep.
And somehow,
The Post, unbelievable. They're going.
somehow though, he kept this team together when everybody had given up on them. Everybody gave up on them. And they were the best team in baseball for 4 months. That's the only way to put it.
Yeah, they pretty much were. That's true.
And they didn't
The record
have as
doesn't
much
lie.
talent as most teams they were playing. I'm not trying to woe is me. It's still the Mets. They have a big payroll. But talent-wise, in terms of the pitching, most of the lineup, it wasn't matching up with the Philly. They beat Philly in the playoffs. Okay?
They kind of owned Philly.
They owned Philly in the
they
playoffs.
kinda
Like,
owned 'em.
it was almost like they went in there going,
They
we're going to roll over you.
they acted like they were the best.
Yeah.
They
Dude,
just did.
swept the Yankees this year.
4 straight.
2 in Queens, 2 in the Bronx.
Yeah.
If they had gotten to the World Series, they would have beat the Yankees. No doubt in my mind.
I think they would have.
I mean, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
But this is a regular season award.
You dodged a bullet, Kevin Vaughn. Trust me.
But this is a regular season award, okay?
Yeah.
And that's what we'll focus on. So he goes from the doldrums of hell to the fucking pearly gates in a matter of 4 months. And not just by some fluke bullshit. He was a fucking leader. Listen to every press conference he had. Listen to everything that was said about him. The dude was a big part of what was going on there.
Yeah.
He was cultivating it. The players obviously have to go do it. And they did. Okay?
But they believed in him.
Yes. And he believed in them.
He believed in them. They had I'd say that locker room, I kept saying.
That was legit.
That's a championship caliber locker room.
And
if they add 1 or 2 pieces to that.
Well, the problem is they got like 8 pieces going out the door.
I know, Well, this guy has the money though.
He's got the money and
He's
got the leader.
Yeah, will he this is a well finish your thought.
So shit, I can't remember where I was.
Well, it's about how Stud Muff got screwed.
Well, obviously, but I mean, I've been talking about it for 10 minutes.
Well, the regular season, how they started out, you know.
So at the end of the year, they have to play Atlanta in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
and then go to Milwaukee to play the final 6 games are Atlanta, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay. And
2 playoff teams.
2 playoff teams. And they go to Atlanta, they lose the first game, and it's like, holy shit. I think they're 1 game up on Atlanta. And it's like, oh my God, they're folding again. Big storm comes through. I can't remember what the name of the storm was.
Yeah.
Comes through, knocks out 2 games in a row in Atlanta.
Yep.
And they have to fly to Milwaukee, play Milwaukee. They actually lose 2 of 3 in Milwaukee. Okay, they win Sunday. Then they have to fly back to Atlanta to play a doubleheader the day after the last day of the season.
Yeah.
And if they don't win one of those games, they don't make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs.
They're down that entire game.
Yeah.
Come back in the 8th inning, get back down in the 8th inning, come back in the 9th, and win in Atlanta to seal playoffs.
That was onions, by the way.
That was fucking stones.
That was onions.
Stones.
Onions.
Then they go to Milwaukee. They
Bill
win
Rafferty, I
game
love
1.
you.
Look, they go to Milwaukee. They win. Well, this is postseason. I won't even get into that.
Yeah.
When I look at that, to do that in a market like New York, first-year manager, and I guess Pat Murphy might be first year too.
He might be.
Yeah, because Craig Counsell was there and spurned them, and they went with Pat Murphy. But okay, so I can't talk too much about that because it's Pat Murphy's first year as well.
Yeah.
But man, Mendoza just did it with class, and he did it with like, I don't know, he just a credibility. He had this credibility about him that I love. And you know, to be fair, Pat Murphy has a lot of that credibility too.
He does. I don't
know. So
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
mad at him, you know, because he did a great job.
It wasn't like he wasn't worthy of the award.
But I really feel like this was Carlos Mendoza's award. He won it. But who cares?
I mean,
You know, it's It comes down to a vote.
I think. Listen, this. You know, people ask me all the time about Jason Tatum getting screwed in the Olympics. What do you care?
Right.
I'm like, well, because he didn't deserve it. Number one. If he was a prick, that'd be one thing. But you go read Jason Tatum's resume. Talk about the definition of squeaky clean. He's a great father by all accounts to his son. His son is his life. I mean, he never gets in trouble, never says the wrong thing. I mean, he gets criticized because people don't think he gets pissed off enough. That's what he gets criticized most for. How many athletes can you say that about? That's what he gets criticized for. It's nothing else. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. That's how unique he is.
But then guys that get pissed off too much, we don't like.
Yeah, but he doesn't
do it enough
at all. So what and again, I don't know that this is on that level, but I mean, Mendoza was certainly deserving.
Yeah,
of that award.
no.
And,
what happened to Jason Tatum? First of all, with the MVP.
Yeah.
Second of all, with the Olympics was worse.
Yeah. Jason Tatum kind of got a double whammy.
Yeah,
he did.
Smacked in the face, bang bang.
He did.
On your way to a championship.
He was the best player in the finals. I don't care what anyone says. Go back and watch those finals. He was the best player in the finals. If you know basketball,
and if it wasn't him, it was Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Jaylen Brown got credit because he kind of slowed down Luka. Luka still scored 30.
Yeah,
he didn't stop him. But they stopped. What they did was they stopped Kyrie Irving, and Jason Tatum was unreal.
Yeah.
He was out of.
He did everything they needed.
He did
to do.
everything. He led the team in the whole playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists.
That's great.
That's ridiculous.
The entire playoffs.
The entire playoffs. You know how many guys in the history of the NBA have done that? About 6. He's like.
Okay, so I'll say this.
So
that helps me like that run a little more, just because. And I know you've said that before, but it didn't click. But that run last year was a little boring because of people being hurt.
Well, we didn't have Kristaps, but you did.
I know, but
the thing is,
they
were
were fucking good.
But that's the thing because of Tatum.
Yeah, yes.
Like, how many teams could lose a player that had the year Porzingis had and just roll?
None.
They just rolled.
None.
It's like it didn't even he wasn't even there.
Because every other team that has a player as good as Porzingis, he's their 3.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was y'all's 3.
He's their 1.
So he's their 1 or 2.
They're 1 or 2.
For a lot, well, for some he's their 2.
Yeah,
he's
but Jaylen Brown is our 2.
Right.
So no, the thing is, Jason Tatum quietly just played his game, and still he can shoot. He can play better.
Yeah.
Again, we haven't seen Jason Tatum's prime. He's 27 years old.
Still growing.
He's technically, again, I said this, technically it's 28 to 32, 33 as an athlete, you hit your prime. He's still a year away from that. I'm serious. And Jaylen Brown just turned 28, so he's entering his prime. So, I mean, the thing is...
so basically everybody else has to pray for injuries for the next 8 years.
Back to Mendoza, look, that Mets team came out of nowhere. No one had them doing anything.
Especially not after 2 months of that season.
No, and for him to get that team to stay with it, stay together, and buy in, that's coaching 101. That's how every manager tries to do it. Really, that's how every manager tries to do it. It was textbook. It was textbook, and there's something to be said for that because
really was.
you don't normally get the textbook. You get like a version of it.
Well, about 6 pages in, you tear it up.
Yeah,
and you go,
you don't get what he did.
That's
very,
called
very often.
stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, when the Patriots were in their heyday, that's what they would do, and they would always the Patriots were always better in November than they were. And I always said, you better get them early because after Thanksgiving they don't lose. Their record after Thanksgiving in that era is disgusting. Yeah. It's disgusting, and he did this at least for 1 year. That's what it looked like for 1 year anyway. So we'll see if he can continue it.
Well, the other because you mentioned when I was talking about we got 8 pieces leaving.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you.
Some very critical.
Well, this is the thing. This isn't a problem with money. If I'm this owner, who can you part with? Who do you have to keep?
Well, see, here's the thing.
I guess, is the first question.
Here's the thing. The owner needs to do is trust the GM.
Yeah.
And then understand that you have the right leadership. I think in place.
I think you do.
Because no matter who you get, I think Mendoza's going to realize, okay, this is a different team.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what culture we need to build now. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we bring this team along too? I think he's smart enough.
I don't think...
No matter who you give him, they're going to make the moves I think are right.
Okay.
I think he can build culture regardless.
Well, this is the thing.
I think that's what he
I
is.
think
He's a
the
culture
culture
builder.
is now there because it's already been tested and proven.
That's true.
And by the way,
That's true.
how does a culture sustain itself? Because it's proven.
Mm-hmm.
This is proven. So they were knocked. They were 2 games in the World Series.
Yeah.
2 games in the World Series. And again, and they were playing the definition of a Goliath.
Yeah.
And they out-hit him twice. So, I mean, the thing is, if I'm this guy, being the owner, I'm looking at this core and I'm going, all right, what do we need? Because I'm not letting these guys go anywhere. What can we add? I'll pay them. What can we add? And the manager's going to say, or the
Pitching.
GM's going to say
Pitching.
this. All right, you go find who you want. Give me a list and we'll figure out how to get them. I have the feeling that may happen. Because
see.
they're close.
Yeah.
They're close. They're 2 players away, 2 pitchers probably.
And then they got to fill out those holes because
Yeah.
you still got to make the decision on Pete.
That should be a done deal now. That's not a done deal. I don't know what is.
Dude, he's got Scott Boras. Nothing's a done deal with Boras.
Listen.
Boras screwed multiple clients last year, made them hold out for big deals. They ended up getting 1-year deals. They left money on the table.
He's going to get a big deal. I mean, what Scott Boras better not do is screw this up. Because honestly, Scott Boras could screw this up.
Well, if for some reason Pete holds out for too long, doesn't get a deal and signs somewhere for 1 year, that's atrocious.
That's atrocious.
Because the Mets should be able to get something done.
Yes. And honestly, look, he'll get a raise, but Boras should not make him break or try to break the bank because he's not worth breaking the bank.
He's not.
He's worth a raise. He's earned a raise.
I think he's worth mid ones, 150 for 5 years or 160 for 5 years. Like, fuck this $200 million shit. You're 30 years old.
That's the thing. He's 30 now. So to me, 150.
You know?
I think 150 is fair.
I think 150 is fair.
That's fair. I think that's fair because he is going to be 31 probably during the season next year. So anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize to Stud Muff. I thought you deserved it too. But hey, you know what? I have a feeling it's gonna roll off your back like every other adverse thing you've had this year, and you guys are gonna come back maybe even better.
Exactly.
So kudos to you, by the way, again, on the feel good story of the year because that's what the Mets were, and I'm not a Mets fan, but they were. Let's be fair here. That's going to do it for segment 1. We're going to come back segment 2. We're going to talk NBA. Celtics, Cavs. Lined them up last night. Some people are happy. Some people are satisfied. Some people are utterly disappointed. Segment 2 coming right up.
You gotta relax.
No, I don't.